ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help. The following program is brought to you by Arlington Community Media, where we tell your story.
A cold snap shuts down the town. Local storefronts may soon receive a makeover. Discussion on the town's budget override continues, and ACMi is taken over by middle schoolers.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered, giving you stories that count, from people who care. Reliable, trustworthy, dependable. This is the nationwide award-winning ACMi News.
Hello everyone, I'm Francisca Beduya, and welcome to today's edition of ACMi News. We're delighted to be back with you. Regent Theater gave outdoor enthusiasts and film lovers a front row seat to adventure at the Banff Center Mountain Film Festival.
While the bustling energy on Medford Street has returned to its usual quiet this week, the breathtaking experiences of high peaks and deep valleys from last week's event continue to linger in the minds of those who attended the Regent Theater. On last Monday, February 16th, the world-renowned Banff Center Mountain Film Festival kicked off its week-long residency here in Arlington, transforming our local stage into a window to the wild. This year is particularly special, as the Regent Theater celebrates its 110th anniversary. As a historic Arlington landmark, this theater is far more than just a screening room. It serves as a living room for the entire community.
We're celebrating 110 years this year, and hosting events with international flavor has always been something we've been proud of and done a lot of. And we often joke that we're the United Nations of theaters because of that. But also things that are a tradition with the theater that we've done year in and year out really makes us proud.
I think this film festival is a great showcase of environmental conservationism, outdoor recreation, whether it's casual or competitive, and kind of an insight into the lives and the minds of the people who do these things.
I've been coming to this festival for close to 20 years.
It's my first time here, but I really like to go to events like this in person. It's really cool to get to see people, and as you can see, a lot of the folks who care about the same issues are here too.
The festival showcased magnificent spectacles, from extreme rock climbing to polar expeditions. But for many Arlington residents, what drew them out of their homes wasn't just the thrill on the screen, it was the live experience and shared connection that is so rare in the era of home streaming.
Cool thing about an event like this, which goes over 4 nights, and we're going to have 1,600 or more people, and is that, there's a large percentage of folks from Arlington, but also obviously from around surrounding areas.
The spirit of this whole film festival is about adventure, finding what makes you scared and then going up against it. It takes your whole life to figure out what you're going to do, what you did with your life. But that's pretty much the spirit of it. It's the spirit of adventure.
This collective energy creates a space for a more profound exploration of what it means to live a meaningful life. The films have become more thoughtful, highlighting not just adventurous wildness, but also conversation and the resilience of the human spirit.
I think it would go back to that Mary Oliver quote. I think that's something you should always roll around in your head and wonder what you're doing with your time. And I hope that they are inspired to go out and live a full life and in the wilds. It's down here is different than up high, and everyone should get up high and be in the world, in that world. So I hope they're inspired.
Although this year's festival has to come to a close, the spirit of adventure it left behind will continue to resonate throughout Arlington. As the curtain falls, the region is already preparing for its next century of cultural celebration. Reporting for ACMi News, I'm Josh Gishri.
As the town faces financial difficulties, voters will have the opportunity to decide financial priorities in town. Town Manager Jim Feeney shared an overview of what to expect from the upcoming override ballot question.
This document here shows a copy of our long-range financial projection as of February 12th, and this was presented at the Long Range Planning Committee, and it goes through where we expect our revenues to be, where we expect our expenditures to be, and I would draw your attention, though it's a very busy spreadsheet, to some of what items have been highlighted. But really, the most important line is the balance line. That's the bottom line. So as we look at our revenues compared to our projected expenditures, and when we start to see these deficits or red numbers at the bottom of the long-range plan, that is usually indicative of our need to call for an override to keep funding business as usual. Given that that is the balance line of this spreadsheet and there are red numbers in parentheses, it means there is a deficit. So, expenditures are expected to exceed our revenue estimates. So what we've planned here is for an override that would cover operations from fiscal years 27 through fiscal year 29. If there were either no override vote on the ballot or if it were unsuccessful, both the town and the schools need to have a balanced budget by July 1st each year. So work would need to be done to balance expenditures to our known revenues. So that would lead to, contemplating various different ways to cut the budget or, trim services. There are any number of things that would be considered. So what we can do is, with this financial model, we have a line where we can plug in what an expected override would be, how that would impact the property tax levy, to see exactly what the dollar amount is that we need to fund business as we know it, business as usual, whereby also eliminating the deficits in those 3 years. The select board is only asking for as much as is absolutely necessary to fund, town and school services as we know them today, and not a penny more.
Deliberations for the override are still underway. To learn more and watch the full discussion, visit ACMi's YouTube channel. Pertaining to the override, Arlington Public Schools shared their perspectives in a series of budget forums. The final of 3 forums, held by Arlington School Committee, co-hosted by the APS Superintendent Liz Homan, the Budget Subcommittee Chair Dr. Kiersey Allison Ampey, and the Community Relations Subcommittee Chair Laura Gittleson, took place on Tuesday, February 24th. The forums seek to provide context on the following fiscal year's budget, as well as the upcoming override ballot question. The series began with a focus on how Arlington gets its funding and included explanations of documents, like the long-range financial projection available through the town manager's report. The superintendent also shared the makeup of this year's budget.
Right now, the vast majority of the budget for APS is dedicated to salaries. The other 14.5% or so is operational costs. So the way that I present this to educators who are not typically thinking about dollars as part of their day-to-day work is that we essentially have the staff budget and the stuff budget. This 14%, this is the stuff budget. This is the stuff it takes to run a school system.
When planning for a budget, it's important to consider the worst-case scenario and hope for the best. In the following session, the committee explained the context for the override, proposed reductions, and explored the impacts of no override on student learning, student well-being, staff retention, district-wide operations, and family support.
Any savings we were to find in operations has to go right back into operations. We can't use operations to restore salaries right now. And that's because very little of the budget goes to operations. We are a student service organization. So most of our resources are people, because that's what we need, people. The total proposed reductions that I just rolled through for FY27 is $5,483,500 total. That's a rough estimate because the real number will get sort of worked out as we build the budget. The necessary reductions, and this is a total number, in FY28 and 29 for the schools only, this is not the town number, this is just for the schools, is $34 million.
In the final informational session, the committee laid out the 2 budget scenarios for operating with and without the override in fiscal year 27.
This is our third of 3 budget forums, but it's not the last time, even though it's the last forum, it's not the last time that we will be speaking with everybody. So we have more opportunities for folks to talk with us, ask questions, get some clarity. We'll talk a little bit more about what some of those opportunities will be over the next month or so before people need to vote on the 28th of March.
The forums are available online in full at the Arlington Public School website under Finance and Operations in the Budget Information section. The school committee will also be announcing more opportunities for Q&As and discussions on their website. Residents are still recovering after an uncharacteristically cold storm that blew through Monday, bringing over 11.8 inches of snow to Arlington. Josh Giesery was reporting on the ground during Monday's blizzard.
It's Monday afternoon in Arlington, and I'm here at Magnolia Field. As you can see, there's not a whole lot going on. Residents across the state prepared to face the bitter cold, electing to stay indoors and stock up on necessary items. We've been walking for several minutes now and have not encountered anyone that wasn't clearing snow somewhere. The Department of Public Works rallied to take on the unusual blizzard. The sudden snowfall restricted Arlington residents from travel, closing down stores, shutting down restaurants, limiting access to streets, and freezing out schools. Walking around out here, it's really not a matter of it being so cold outside, but the wind is whipping the snow around, and the amount of snows, as you can see around me, that's piling up is quite alarming. The wintry conditions are expected to make a comeback this weekend, so enjoy the sunshine while you can. Here's a few tips for how to prepare. In case of power failures, make sure you have an emergency kit and extra food and water in your homes. Don't set foot outside unless absolutely necessary, and stay connected to the town's emergency warning system for updates about bad weather. We are taking the town of Arlington's advice and heading back inside to the warmth to recover and protect ourselves from all of this.
Public schools have reopened as students return from their extended winter break. According to Arlington Public Works, overnight snow removal operations will continue, clearing main intersections, crosswalks, HP parking, and bus stops along Mass Ave, starting at 11:45 p.m. Saturday will be mostly sunny with a high of 49 degrees. You can expect snowfall and showers in the following days. Working is the title of the latest exhibit at the 13 Forest Gallery in East Arlington, featuring paintings by Paul Beckingham. Beckingham visited local businesses to capture their atmosphere of welcoming disarray. During this exhibition, the gallery hosted a discussion on generative AI, the loneliness it causes, and the implications that it has for the future of the art world and beyond.
The exhibit is a series of paintings by Paul Beckingham. He's a very realistic, photorealistic painter. And the subject matter is places where people work, though there are a few signs of people in his paintings. Part of the series captures businesses that are kind of fading away because of modern times. This is my opinion, but there's a certain loneliness that AI and a lot of technology is actually introducing to human life. And one of them is, for instance, writing with AI. You do it in isolation with nobody really to give you advice or proofread or edit or anything except, ChatGPT. The funny thing about that sort of tone with AI is that to me it matches the tone of the typewriter repair shop, where there's a certain loneliness to it. where there is something there, something was invented, something has a use, but it's lonely. I mean, I'm no Luddite. I mean, I don't despise AI at all. The thing that is problematic for me is that there are many ways to use AI that it's like having a hammer. You know, you hold the hammer and you put it to good use, and then you put the hammer away and you go on and do something else. But there's a large segment of society that's actually becoming wholly reliant on it, not as a tool, but as sort of a substitution. I guess my question with AI and people's using it is, like, how many points of our own humanity are we willing to give up? You know, writing is not easy. It sucks sometimes. Painting is not easy. It sucks sometimes. Being a carpenter is not easy. Anything you do that's creative and using your hands, you have to make decisions, and you're responsible for it. It's difficult. There's always difficult periods to it. But I think if you're actually going to undertake a creative endeavor, you have to accept the fact that there's loneliness to it. And you're going to be befuddled, and you're going to be stumped, and you're going to be furious, and you'll throw junk out. But at the end of that whole process, you come up with something that, you didn't even expect when you began. It's the thing that you create is never what you expected in the beginning. And AI gives you exactly what it is that you're trying to get from the very beginning, which is another short-circuiting of the creative process, so long as you use it as something more than just a tool.
As AI continues to seep into our everyday lives, it is important to remember what makes us human, our community support systems, and the people within them. Business owners with unsightly stares rejoice. Applications for the Storefront Improvement Program offered by the Department of Planning and Community Development closed today, February 27th. Katie Lusai, the Economic Development Coordinator of the DPCD, stopped in to ACMi to share information on the Storefront Improvement Program.
So the Storefront Improvement Program is a part of the Community Development Block Grant Program for this fiscal year. I applied for it last year for economic development. So there's a few different components for the Community Development Block Grant Program, also known as CDBG. It also goes towards improving housing, expanding housing, and improving shared facilities and public spaces. So my goal for this program, I created it, but it has been done in the past for Arlington, was to give an opportunity for Arlington businesses to just improve their storefronts. Very broadly, it could mean a bunch of different things, but really just give a chance to give a little TLC. So add some planters, if there's broken windows or they want to improve the energy efficiency of their windows or doors, improve accessibility, really just try to get more foot traffic for businesses or commercial property owners as well. So since it is a CDBG funded program, it is based on the CDBG map. Through the census, we have the census block groups, which tell us where lower income individuals live. The threshold that the federal government sets is 38% of low to medium income individuals based on the average. You can look on the map that we provide because you don't know off the top of your head what the low LMI of your area is. So for Arlington, generally speaking, it is most portions of Arlington Heights. So that includes a lot of our Arlington Heights businesses. It is some of Arlington Center businesses and a few of East Arlington. As long as businesses and property owners can really justify to me that this is beautification, I want to be as flexible and open-minded as possible because I really want to work with businesses to make sure that I am doing a service to them. But the few applications that I have received, it has been for awnings and signage and for steps, because we're New England, we're winter weather, those stairs are eroding and we want to make sure those are safe, as well as front doors, glass front doors that have been damaged. So those to me are absolutely justified. I have an application form. They have to complete that, make sure that they're getting the sign off from the property owner, because most businesses in Arlington are renting from a property owner who may or may not live here in Arlington, so they need that approval. They also need to provide a quote and some images, some photos of their existing property, even though a lot of them are covered in snow right now, but do their best. They also need to provide a narrative, a justification, like we just talked about, talking about how this will improve their storefront.
If you missed this year's application period, be on the lookout for next year's program. We turn our attention from Arlington to a section of headlines from around the world. Fallout from the arrest of former Prince Andrew of the British royal family continues as the investigation into his alleged misconduct in public office deepens. The younger brother of King Charles III was the latest to be tied to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, with claims that Andrew shared sensitive information while serving as a UK trade envoy. The former prince has denied allegations, but the arrest has already called into question the function of the royals in the modern age. Meanwhile, the Dominican Republic sank back into darkness on the Monday as the country was hit with the second countrywide power outage in the past 3 months. Essential services remained on backup systems, but the power failure has many concerned about the stability of the nation's power grid. As Indonesia has more than 3,100 miles of land across 6,000 inhabited islands, a defensive aircraft carrier would be costly to maintain and have difficulty covering the country's borders. Because of this, Indonesian Air Force's Chief of Staff plans on each of the country's 38 provinces providing one toll road section as an emergency runway. A demonstration of a F-16 jet landing took place last week, solidifying the possibility of using the roads. 11 South African men allegedly tricked into fighting alongside Russian soldiers in the war with Ukraine returned home. The mercenaries were supposedly told that they would be handsomely paid and would only be receiving security training in Russia. This marks another step in a trend of young African men being recruited by Russian forces in their ongoing war. The men were taken into police custody for questioning and have since been released. On Sunday morning, the drug trafficker known as El Mencho was killed in Jalisco. Mexican Army Special Forces learned about El Mencho's location through a romantic partner. The organized crime group opened fire upon seeing the military forces. In the ensuing firefight, El Mencho was slain. Upon his death, his cartel set up 252 roadblocks and offered payment to those that killed Mexican soldiers. There are at least 72 documented casualties from the conflict. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum praised the work of Mexican armed forces in dealing with the violent aftermath. And now, back to our own backyard for this final story. What do you get when you mix 12 middle schoolers and thousands of dollars of studio equipment? You might think it would be an absolute disaster, but ACMi did just that, and here's how it went.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the craziest news show in Arlington. I'm Calvin. Today, the ACMi news studio has been taken over by middle schoolers.
Over February vacation, ACMi partnered with Arlington Public Schools' ACE program to offer a hands-on crash course in filmmaking and television studio production.
We'll be back after this short break, but wait, don't leave yet because we will be playing another very entertaining commercial.
Participants learned how to operate cameras, wrote their own scripts, filmed their own commercials, edited the piece themselves, and the whole event coalesced with the middle schoolers' very own live newscast, where they switched between all the roles in studio production.
Tell me a reason why you like ads.
I like ads because... Yeah, can I skip?
Diet water.
100% vegan, 100% vegetarian, certified kosher, certified organic, not tested on animals. It also comes with flour for that doubles as a lockpick.
Hey boss, I've got the money.
In a world where magic comes alive and realities cross,
What is this disgusting creature doing on your doorstep?
The ACMi staff were hard at work training the kids and answering tough questions like, how does the audio board work? How do you focus a studio camera on the news anchors? And is it morally okay to make a fake news show?
Experts believe that a whopping 36% of the rain throughout America will be Pepsi for as long as the next 3 months.
Do you know anything about the identity of this person?
They must be crazy. Who would want to do this?
Lots of destruction and lots more news stories that have nothing to do with news at all.
Ultimately, the February vacation workshop was a smashing success. Just listen to what they had to say.
Slay the day away. Don't get caught in a pie fight like me.
Slay!
Great work, kids. I might need you at the desk in the future. Special thanks to ACMi's youth coordinator, Yasmina, for guiding this workshop. If you or your kids are interested in making your own newscast, be sure to sign up for our upcoming summer workshop to do just that. And that'll do it for this week's edition of ACMi News. Have a story you want us to cover? Know about an upcoming community event? Share your ideas by writing us at the address on the upcoming screen. For ACMi News, I'm Francisca Beduya. And congratulations to the Arlington Spy Ponder boys hockey team for a big win this week, with a score of 6-0 against Needham High School on Tuesday, the 24th. The second game of the MIAA tournament will be played this Saturday against Lincoln Sudbury. Go Ponders! A shout out to our great ACMi sports crew for those amazing shots. Thank you for watching.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.
ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help.